Welcome to the Roadwardens, young travelers all alike. We have just begun our journey, and we have found this abandoned camp, which should have been occupied with laborers. But we found nothing but this gate being open. But it has been a long day. With that, the Road Warden stepped forward. If it is a military camp, it does not look the part. Plenty of wasted space, the fire pit's cold. There are two people sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is even holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of the light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. It has been a long travel for this road warden, and he is going to just assume that they are not much of a I can enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance at your general direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing a durable, decent boots. A mace with the head covered in iron hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. What does the other soul look like, I wonder? Just like you, she's wearing gambeson, but hers a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are weary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these two surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe? Oh, it's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. The bearded man's voice is strong yet timid. You'll be staying the night with us, I guess? We're soldiers, he and I. That is a terrible voice. Added the armored woman. Her moment switches from the half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe. But if you take the first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you need a good night's sleep. But I am not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, so sure, leave it to me. I will take the first watch. Fantastic! She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. Ha ha ha, drinks from his mug. How would this road warden respond? I was hoping to meet with your lieutenant. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps toward you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most certainly can, you and I, though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity. Or are you looking for help? Why, I am your new road warden. My horse is waiting just outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. Oh, wait. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece. All by yourself? Better bring that beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Ooh. I'm about to find out this game is a lot deeper and harsher than I think. Hi. I'm Chips. Her grasp is confident. The shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. There's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. Why, no problem. I enjoy observing the stars. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around, snorts anxiously. Not many horses could ride a horse. Wow, not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle with a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to Dragonwoods from the conquest in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs you to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. He is my trusty steed, and he must feel at ease. It takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. That was a terrible snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence, just the way it likes. Humans see useful animals, even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse nicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back just in case. While riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time, even it will start to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn soon. You haven't brought that many things, and you've lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eater. Worst of all, you have no rope left. Maybe some of the soldiers can share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. This is where it comes down. Do I choose to be a scholar, a mage, or a fighter? This is actually my first time looking into this game, so I actually have no idea. I would like to learn a bit more about these three classes. As a fighter, you will be easier time in physical challenges thanks to your superior equipment and hidden bonuses during dice rolls. You are physically more capable than other classes. What opens unique opportunities during some social interactions is the best class. Wow, I feel like I'm having a lisp. My lisp is coming back. Fuck! The fighter's weakness is the reliance on physical strength. Your special abilities won't be available to you if your vitality points drop to 0. The mage uses pneuma, a versatile but limited pool of energy. Using the mage's powers too freely will result in no pneuma left when you need it most. While the scholar knows most about the world's mystery, helping you take advantage of the unusual situation. You'll be able to impress the locals with its knowledge. You'll be able to read the sparse and written clues without anyone's assistance. scholars struggle with combat more than other classes, but with enough carefulness in your exploration, you'll gain access to alchemical mixtures that will help you escape many dangerous situations. I believe I'm going to be a mage for this run. You unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. Thank the heavens for that. The spare clothes are still there. Can I go away? No. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug, your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, and knife. Nothing special, but also not too cumbersome. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes. This doesn't make it any more exciting. They're eating at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl was put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. I'll join them at the meal. It's only courteous. It's old, cold gruel. The meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, and some strange-looking cereals and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move, from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardships, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in combat. Patrolling the same roads for years, they help the settlement stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, and forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Now, I'm not going to keep reading everything because I did not expect to have to read this much. Focus and chooses her words carefully. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to, and less than I should. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead. One has ran away in tears. We're also strangers in this land. Any piece of information may help me do my job. The man leans forward. His untrimmed beard hides much younger face than you originally thought. What did the locals the officials tell ya? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. He has gone to a Barbosa-sounding voice now, fuck it. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received. This area is far away from Haviland. Keep it under control. Though you were warned of its untamed and unknown aspects. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may have been found in these hills and forests? From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses? Or do they find what they are looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. Lieutenant drinks from a cup and crosses her legs. Where should we start? I keep changing her voice. Sooner or later I will find a voice that sits. Maybe this voice, Tulia, the lieutenant. Any ideas what happened to the previous road warden? Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him in almost half a year. so to speak, between themselves for a bit, trying to get their story straight. They confirmed that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. I don't remember his voice, and I changed his voice again. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, writes notes on that wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Ah, fuck. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Roadwardens often use four-legged meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatchlings, but unlike horses, they can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he was looking for? Maybe he left you a message. Neither of us. Come on. You can do this, Chips. Neither of us. God damn, I already lost her voice. Neither of us had any insight into his dealings. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Wait, I almost forgot. He has kids in a village near Havlan. I was planning to take all his things there. Ouch, a second spear, a decent bow and some potions. Quite a treasure. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So, you'd like me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. We've hired a messenger to ask the Hermandus for further orders. Since she hasn't returned, and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us and tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlana together? You think about your real mission. You are planning to returning in the early fall. If he is alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away his possessions. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you of anything, and who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long red beard and a short hair. Quite the pale face. Rarely smiles. So find out what you happened to him. Dead, alive, left. Just let me know. Can I have some rope, please? Why, you're in luck! Opens one of the crates and revealing rope. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. What was your squad's mission? He looks me dead in the eye. You know, the usual. Making the roads safe, keeping people alive. I explain that it may become important for me to know what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. Now, if you have any other questions... Yes, what happened to your squad? Bandits happened, monsters. And a strong band, though. When we got to the peninsula in the spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. Anyways, if he had decided to otherwise, we would have all died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp was a trap, that the armed ones pretended to be soldiers, stayed there at night, use everything you have. That very well sounds like slavers. Very much so. They killed some, took others away who knows where. They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. And it kind of worked. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own. That's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp. But we didn't know our enemy enough. We were outnumbered. They had an ice mage amongst them, for God's sake. At least we cleared the roads. Saved lives. You mentioned the monsters. Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader. And they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt. A werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough. Didn't tell us he had cut his hand while cleaning Gambison. Gambison! We had to cut it off. He was so ashamed that he decided to walk north. Find a new life. Disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey this has been. Well, you've made this place safer. Barely. And who knows if it was worth our lives and effort. Is there anything I should know about this camp? The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp, have a stop for the mules. The incident grew more dangerous. The camp stood abandoned, serving a shelter for travelers. Then the bandits came. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse in time as well. Only time will tell. You can sleep over here whenever you want. Though, don't expect to wake up without pain in your back. Yeah, thank you very much for that. But what should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge. How long did it take you to get here from the city? On a decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3, maybe 4 days. When you confirm, she continues. Blah 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 blah. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day. As long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? A sea route that allows Havlin officials to keep in touch with the coastal village, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect the lumber and deliver tools. But maintaining order on the wild coast, such as this one, is filling the ocean depths with coin. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from shore. Boats can't get much closer. And I don't know about fishing, but that's not to say that many people don't living by the shore. And they don't crave to stay in touch with city folk. No soul from the north ever comes to the camp, but when we travel the roadside inn, out of the north, they're happy to trade and to play dice. Well, why not just stay at one of those settlements? I mean, well to God, this road, this camp is all post and well. Don't take it the wrong way, Chips. But are you a devout soul? Oh, shit. A strong connection to nature, spirits. I'm from a small village. For me, freedom of shell. My community have a place in my fellowship. I feel I'd be more of a pagan. A pagan? A pagan road warden? Now I'm sure we can have a conversation with civilized people. I'm from the United Church, but I am not a priest or anything, and definitely not a zealot. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagans, making it clear who's not with them is against them. Your family shared some gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. Sure, I'm not looking for squabbles. You have treated me fairly. There are people here. There are people here disquieting. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with officials. Here. Draws a line with her index finger, as if she's pointing it to an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. Not exactly pagan, I don't think. I mean, it even had a priest who claims to be an ermite. She means the fellowship. They do crazy shit. They use the dead to cut down the trees and dig in the soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. I see. You've heard tales of such as this, when you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions that they had to deal with. The rustic, pagan traditions muddy the river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, the bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. And were you able to speak with these necromancers? Well, you can see why we're not eager to go there if we could have waited. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a road warden. The roads are dangerous. With little to no shelter, people need your help. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll have to get to an inn first. And soon, as he's pointing to the northwest. Health of the North is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep and the guards, ask them about the road. What about the East? Hard to tell. We went there only once. There were hills, forest, rivers. We even saw tunnels sculpted in leaves and branches. but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. How about any monsters? Are there anything I should be concerned about? We saw all sorts of beasts. Goblins, treants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boards, mufflin eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away from them. Yes, some could catch up with most mounts. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that flying creatures keep to the coast and the mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting amongst themselves. They fight more for food than territory. Aye, don't provoke them and ride fast. Count on luck. That's all I needed to know. Tulia, how did you become a lieutenant? Well, there's not much of a story, honestly. In the city, there's a strict order of... what should I call it? Well, leadership succession, I guess. Havlana, chief, selects the commandants, and those select the lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If a lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. Ah, so you are his successor? Wait. Oh, there. No, not really, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. It was rather unpleasant. Jumping like that to save a man in the middle of attack doesn't sound like a wise decision. I agree, but so what? He's dead. I doubt he's going to be learning much from that scolding. True. Very true. And you were the third one in line, is that right? Basically, yeah. I didn't plan to become a leader. I'll get demoted once we return to city. Prefer to follow anyways. Well, thank you for the story, Tulia. But if you were me, where would you go next? To the inn, of course. Empty mug. The one's northwest of here. If you can afford a room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled. But the hunters will tell you more about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Ah, any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? Avoid the cheap jokes, stick to trade, and don't waste his time. Show him you can be relied on. It's getting late, we should prepare for the night. I agree. And may you do better than Asterion did. Stay vigilant. I thank you for the help. I go to the barrel and splash my water on my face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. At night, after the night, it will only get worse. Hey, just observe the area. There's plenty of griffins around, but they won't try to jump over a palisade. Probably. And better to watch out for the apes. They climb up and carry out any food they can find. And there's this one really loud were-elk. Keeps smelling them all, though it has never tried to get in. The lieutenant and I will block the entrances. They are quite heavy, so if anyone comes looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if there's someone being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. If it gets cold, feel free to make a fire. The best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put up a blanket up there or something. The watchtower? Oh, sorry. Here. A pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view of the northern side. The more dangerous side. I fucked up his voice already. And also, I know you're tired. After all of that writing, I can handle a couple of hours sleep on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest. Just this once. At least I have a pallet inside. I appreciate the help and the gift, but I believe I'm fine. Don't worry. The night is warm, and the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on tall grass. I smell smaller critters, birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see a three-horned deer, trying to challenge another one. Before they clash their antlers, a two-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. A fury beast tried to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements, but after a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor admit defeat. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are tracing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there watching the not-so-distant forest. You can only guess how much time has passed once you feel you've had enough. You climb down and go to a tent, picking up the bearded man. With just a couple of words, you can confirm nothing important has happened. You aren't used to sleeping under harsh conditions. The weather is gentle, and maybe you won't catch a cold. Your job starts tomorrow. The Merchant Guild wants you to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you must explore the peninsula. Learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals. And if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with the officials and traders. Could tribes resist the soldiers or be a threat to the priests of the church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, or robbery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. I'm just a good soul. I just want to help people and make this place safer. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sound of wild forests. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious. All I can do now is rest. Take a look at your amulets. For most people, it would be nothing more than trash. But you wouldn't sell them for a pouch of dragon bones. You look at the old, so clean bandages. You remember dozens of herbal bombs. How much pneumonia do I have? No. Must be conservative with magic. What is happening? Ah, chips. We used the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. A traveler or an undead? The latter. A young one. She lacked the pneumia to understand that she couldn't get inside this camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours. Time for me to leave. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened at Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels, friend. An old farewell, mocked in a number of songs. Yet you hear no scorn. You miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix them. The soldiers were diligent. I need to ride north. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breezes lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of the birds is quickly replaced by the distant screeching and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find a pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of beast and bird. Each one is a different size and coat and color, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered in white and vivid feathers, while their rears are darker fur. About 24 beasts are yelling and brawling and chasing each other around, blocking your path. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase you, the thicket would be disastrous. Usually the safest approach is to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up a couple of hours. A harmless flare to frighten the monsters off. The little sphere is covered by cryptic engravings. Holding the spear between your fingers, you feel a pleasant, familiar warmth. And it does its work. It makes them run away. Alright, and I think I'm gonna end the recording here because my throat is getting dry. I'm thinking I might make this a series. It's hard to say because this would be a definitely short routes, because I don't know if I could keep doing 40 minutes of this each time. Have a good evening if I do post this up and I don't edit it properly. Take care, everybody.